people are the ones who stand to be most affected in the future if we fail to tackle climate change issues now. It is therefore important that the youth have a say and that their voices are taken into account in the rooms where decisions are made. In this episode of Youth Xpress, come with us to St. Kitts and Nevis to meet a young activist who has been working to secure environmental change and climate justice. We'll meet Tricia King after this message. You're watching Youth Xpress.
Hi, my name is Tricia King, and I'm the first female marine biologist in St. Kitts and Nevis. My activism is recognized across the region. For my work in blue economy, I'm also recognized as an ecofeminist, and I also serve on the Caribbean Feminist Climate Justice Movement as an advisory council member. Why is activism so important to me? I remember being on a fishing boat 12 miles off the coast of St. Kitts and Nevis, and the fishers were arguing because the only reason they thought I didn't get sick was because my grandfather was a fisher, not because I was a marine biologist, not because I was a female taking up space in a male-dominated area. Activism is very important to me.
Tricia, it is so nice to meet you and to learn about the advocacy work that you are doing here in St. Kitts and Nevis. I really want to hear though about the unique technique that you are using to raise awareness around the vulnerability of the marine environment.
Okay, so after I came back from studying at the University of the Virgin Islands, I wanted to revamp the way Angelique Dance Company functioned. And so what I did is we promoted awareness through dance, which covers not just environmental issues, but also social issues. But I'm just focusing on the environmental ones. What we did is we actually applied for a grant, and it was the Sea Life CSKN grant. Right, so it's Sea Life, so it's a pun. So it's Sea Life because it's a visual campaign about the marine environment, and CSKN for our waters here in St. Kitts and Nevis. One of the areas of focus is actually where we're sitting right now in the Narrows, which is a marine strait between St. Kitts and Nevis, and it connects us. Right, it's historically, culturally, ecologically, it's a very important area. It's a nursery habitat. And so it has the largest seagrass bed, and so it's one of those areas that we create a lot of advocacy around because it's very important. It's a high use zone, so it's also very important that persons are aware of what they are doing and how their actions could affect it. When we looked at creating dance pieces around the marine environment, initially I was overwhelmed because which species to highlight, you know, I love them all. So that was one of the things that was really interesting, but some of it just came down to prettiest costumes, you know, like the parrotfish. It's ecologically important, it's also really beautiful, and so the princess parrotfish was one of those species that we focused on in terms of our dance messaging.
I can imagine the creativity here because, I mean, a dance group, you know, portraying these things. Describe for us how that is.
Normally, as a trained dancer, we learn to really focus on, you know, an ideal stage, a wooden platform that doesn't hurt our knees, all of these little intricacies. But when we go into the field, literally, where we were creating advocacy around guts, and so it's a ridge to reef effect. So from the ridge, how it affects the marine environment, and so literally the marine pollution washes down. Well, it starts from the ridge, comes down to the guts. The last video we did, we had to tiptoe over some rocks, a rocky terrain, so that we could be able to display our unique black sand beaches in St. Kitts and Nevis.
Yeah. On my mama, the south side still holding. Yeah. Go for broke for the ones that are broken.
Tricia, we know that human activities contribute a great deal to climate change. And when it comes to changing behavior, that can be really challenging. What are some of the practical, sustainable lifestyles that ordinary people can adopt as they become more aware of the consequences of climate change?
Okay, so the anthropogenic effects, which is really a big word to say, the human impact on the environment in which climate change exacerbates those impacts, we have to approach it with a very science-driven focus, right? To change policy, to help change persons' behaviors. And so what we have done is introduce the knowledge, attitude, and behavioral approach when we talk about things like reducing plastic pollution or reducing pollution in general that affects not only terrestrial but also the marine environment. Things like volunteerism. So why it is really important is that there are groups like the St. Kitts and Nevis Reef Guardians that are doing an amazing job in helping to protect our oceans and helping to conserve a lot of our ocean space. And we have been very inclusive, including persons living with disabilities, to learn about the marine environment and to be able to actively participate in some of the conservation efforts. So one of the things I would definitely promote is to really volunteer with environmental groups that are doing an amazing job. We also like persons to just do little things, because it's really little things that make a difference. So turning off the lights, saving energy, turning off, conserving water, like just little water conservation practices. All of these things actually assist in helping what we can do.
Tricia, it's been great chatting with you and learning about your advocacy work and to just witness your passion for, this fight, climate change. What would be your pointed message to our viewers as you go?
Okay, so the Sustainable Development Goals actually talk about leaving no one behind, and that would be something that I would really want to echo. Leave no one behind. Get your grandmother involved, get the person down the street involved, get your blind cousin involved. Everyone needs to be involved so that we can collectively fight against climate change.
With a nappy head Christ by their side, I pray you catch a wave that doesn't subside. This for the nappy heads in heaven. With a nappy head Christ by their side.
Let's join our young people to fight climate change and build a better, safer future for all. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to check out the rest of the series to meet more young climate change activists from our ECCB member countries.